Mr. Speaker, sir, I would also like to rise to support the cut motion tabled by our honorable members and moved by our honorable members Sri Miller Basamite. So, while I participate, I would like to draw the attention of the department concerned and the minister in charge pertaining to a few concerns based on the demand which has been reflected in the grant. Number one, the amount of rupees 22 crores 27 lakhs 28,721 is required to regularize the advance from CF as additional support to MECL for payment of outstanding electricity dues of various government departments. Here, there is little confusion in as far as my power to comprehend is concerned, because here the demand, the explanatory note says, for payment of outstanding electricity dues of various government departments. Now, if we go through the budgetary allocation and the budgets which have been voted in this August House, you will see also that number of departments also have this component, power bills to be paid, be it your PHC department and similarly other departments. So, there is a need to have a clarity whether MECL or the power department is paying the bills of the different departments in as far as the electricity charges is concerned. Otherwise, in absence of this clarity, this House cannot be taken for granted to vote on all the proposals of all the departments. We have to go for scrutiny. Which departments electricity bill which is due for payment, the department here proposes to take care of and cover. I think this information should be furnished to us. Which are those departments who still have the outstanding electricity dues, which is being considered to be covered with this amount? And if this is considered to cover the outstanding electricity dues of various government departments, then we also need to look at as to how those fund which has been voted by this August House pertaining to the payment of electricity dues by those concerned departments have been used. Then another point, Mr. Speaker, sir, is the question of additional support required to enable MNREDA to pay the salaries, wages, and TPF contribution of the officers and staff. It will be important for this August House to know whether this additional requirement is because it was not covered in the original budget, number one. And number two is that whether there has been an increased need of fund to take care of the salaries due to any other reason, including new appointments. And if new appointments, how many have been appointed, which has generated this additional demand? And if have been appointed, the procedures adopted thereof to ensure that these new appointments have been done, which is inconsistent with the rules, in as far as the appointment rules are concerned and the financial rules are concerned. Then, on the number 3, explanatory note, the amount of 70 crore 6 lakh is required as additional support to enable the MECL to take over the loss under GUIDELINE schemes for operational and financial turnaround of power distribution companies. There's only one power distribution company, of course. So, under the program, how much achievement has been met in as far as dealing with this issue of having a financial turnaround of the company, the entity is concerned, after having this program been initiated and operationalized. And why is this additional amount required? Why was the original amount, which were already made available to the distribution company, not enough? The reasons thereof. Then on number 4, this is again the component of additional supplementary demand which is being asked for, which is probably occupying the biggest space of the amount indicated in the demand. Now here, when we are looking at this additional support, which is coming to 100 crores, is required to enable the MECL to clear power purchase dues payable to different central public sector undertakings, and also to clear the monthly pensionary obligations. In the first instance, we want to have the breakdown. How much is for the monthly pensionary obligation, and if this is paid, whether the concerned government company, for that matter, the MECL, will be able to clear all the pensionary payment which are pending to be paid to the beneficiary employees. And if it is not going to be enough or not going to take care of the total requirement, how much will be the balance in as far as this requirement to clear the monthly pensionary obligation is concerned? Now, here the other part is to clear the power purchase dues payable to different central public sector undertakings. Mr. Speaker, sir, the Electricity Act 2003, the whole idea, the whole objective of this Electricity Act 2003 has been with the sole objective of ensuring that the erstwhile state electricity boards are allowed to go through an unbundling process and corporatize. Corporatize for what? To ensure that they become professional in as far as the management is concerned, and become more viable, so that the government does not have to go on supporting these entities, unlike the past experience when this whole responsibility of generation, transmission and distribution of electricity was vested upon the state electricity boards. Now, MECL is a government company. It has got its whole responsibility to function in sync with all the corporate laws. Now, therefore, this concern has been the Honorable Minister in charge. Power is also an experienced administrator. He had had the privilege of being the Power Minister earlier also. He is aware of this. Now, the concern here is, how long shall we continue to support these entities from public exchequer, from the scarce amount of money that accrues to the state exchequer, which are required to take care of all the social sector needs? If we go through all the replies in different sessions of this August House, we see that the government is grappling to find resources to take care of its obligation, vis-a-vis meeting the aspirations and hopes of the people. So how long will we allow the state exchequer to bleed because of inefficiency in as far as the management of these entities are concerned? And therefore, what are the measures at the same time, while asking for this money, what are the measures being taken up by the government to ensure that the government does not have to come back to this August House asking for such support to be extended to this entity out of the scarce resources that come to our state exchequer, which are not even enough to take care of the needs of the people's aspirations? Yes, I think today, because most of the villages are being covered under the electrification process, courtesy number of interventions, which is of course not only the case in the state of Meghalaya, but across the nation. But at the same time, just because of the fact that people are continuing to accept this fate, okay, the MECL has failed, there's no electricity, 2-3 days, no replacement of the transformers. When these transformers continue to keep on going out of order, months together. In fact, I have one message, SOS, coming from people from the constituency of the Honorable Power Minister himself and adjoining constituencies, which was erstwhile taken care of by connection from Chibinang substation. After improvement and after establishment of additional substation, the people are suffering. Huge number of list of villages. I don't want to read this. I think the Honorable Minister already has this list because they have told me that they have sent this application to the government. I have the copy. Mr. Speaker, this is the reality. Should we not pull up all those who are concerned, who continue to think that government exchequer is available for anybody to be compensated because of their inefficiency? Accountability. Accountability. And another thing is that the system is such, but the system should not be taken advantage of. The house should not be taken granted. Sometimes the house has to say no or say yes with conditions. Therefore, when the government is agreeing to give this money, there should be some conditions. What are those conditions? Has there been any conditions being put forward by the government to tell them, look, we are going to take care of your needs, but these are the conditions. You have to pull up your shocks. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm afraid the quantum of money that is being given to these entities, the House would like to know how much money has been given to these distribution companies through different channels, including the loan. Atmanirbhar loan was there. That was supposed to take care of this liability. What has happened? Did we not take the whole amount of Atmanirbhar loan? If we have taken the loan of Atmanirbhar, how much was taken and how much was utilized to take care of this repayment or payment of the outstandings? And what was the amount which were left unpaid after availing this Atmanirbhar loan? How much was the balance? And subsequent to that, no, before that, why was the Atmanirbhar not able to cover all the requirement? If it has not been enough to cover, did the government take up with the government of India? Or was it a fact that the whole amount which was indicated in the allotment of fund under the Atmanirbhar scheme was not availed by the government, was not availed by the MECL? If not availed, why was the amount not availed fully and utilized to ensure that the whole outstanding is completely paid? And if it has not been paid because of whatever reasons, whether it is for not availing the Atmanirbhar loan fully or partially, why was it decided? And what is the resultant impact on the exchequer? What is the interest burden? In addition to the principal outstanding, what is the accumulated interest burden from that time when the Atmanirbhar loan was utilized till then? That is what I would like to urge upon the government. And another part is the billing system. The amount of money that comes back has to be on a regular basis. It is good for the distribution company and it is also good for the consumers. Interestingly, it is same to everybody's constituency. Whoever is probably as members of this August House being confronted by this problem by the people of our respective constituencies. Now, there are certain categories of electricity connection. Initially, it started with those free subsidy, free connection to the BPL families. Now it's, for whatever reasons, inexplicable reason, these bills were not realized from these poor people. Now, what has happened is that the resultant cumulative amount of bill for a period of number of years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, is being served upon them. It's irony. People who cannot afford to pay to get electricity connection are being served with this accumulated amount of thousands of rupees, which goes beyond their capacity. So I would like to urge upon the minister in charge, through you, Mr. Speaker, sir, to look at the relevant rules in terms of the realization of tariff from the consumers. What does the rule say? If the entity does not realize the pending bill within such and such time, within such and such period, then what happens? There are rules, Mr. Speaker, sir. I am not going to read the rules. Minister in charge should be able to take cognizance of those rules which are available, because the rules of the procedure and conduct of business also says that you shall not quote the rules which are already available. So I am not going to quote this rule. It is incumbent upon the department to look at the rules. Our people have been unnecessarily being subjected to this kind of illegal slapping off bills which were not submitted to the consumers on time. So when they are not even served these bills on time, what happens? I think that action should be taken by the concerned department, by the concerned entity, and the direction should go from the department, from the government. Mr. Speaker, sir, another part of this additional support required to enable MECL to clear the power purchase dues. Now why is this power purchase? Because we are depending on the CPUs. We also have entered into a number of agreements. So we would like to know how many CPUs are still having the bilateral agreement for providing the share of electricity generated by these CPUs, respective CPUs, the duration left, and also the tariff at which we are being charged in as far as the distribution company is concerned. Then another part is the realization of bill again. Now, the realization of bill is very crucial. I have one submission to make and one representation to make for the government and the department concerned. I would urge upon the minister in charge to look at this concern appropriately and take necessary action, lest it becomes a space for some private entities to create a situation that instead of being able to treat the bleeding MECL, it allows the MECL to continue to suffer and bleed. I would like to refer to the reply to the unstarred question which was tabled by our honorable member from Rajabala. Now, talking about the billing system, a private entity was awarded the responsibility of billing system. There are a few questions which I would like to ask and the minister to clarify. Number one, are we still having the meter readers across the state? Are we still paying for them? Are they collecting the detailed data in respect of determining the quantum of electricity consumed by the respective consumers and the quantum of tariff that is required to be paid by them? Are they still collecting? Are they still being used by the distribution company across the state in as far as the revenue section is concerned? If so, this private entity who have been awarded this particular responsibility of realizing this billing, the question is like this: the name of the firm awarded the work of billing of smart meters. Is this confined to only smart meters or from across all the consumers? And the rate at which the project was awarded to the said firm, the reply says that the rate is 6 rupees per consumer per month. That means everybody is paying 6 rupees per month and this money is being paid to this private company, MS Inventive Software Solution Private Limited. Therefore, there is a duplicacy. If it is not clarified as to if we still have the meter readers who are to read the meter and determine the tariff payable by the consumers. And we are also paying these meter readers. So, how is this being worked out? How many numbers of consumers were charged at the rate of 6 rupees per month and paid to this inventive software solution private limited? If the meters readers have already collected based on the meter reading and submitted the tariff to be realized by the respective consumers, these 6 rupees should be realized again from this inventive software solution private limited, if they have been paid. Now suppose, say for example, to make it abundantly clear in a simpler form to make any consumer understand, what I'm trying to say is that if energy chargeable by one particular household, the tariff payable by that consumer has been already determined by that meter reader who is being paid by the distribution company, the revenue section. Whether for that same bill, this 6 rupees has been paid to this particular company, whom as per the reply, that rupees 6 per consumer per month is being paid. Then another part is that there is one office order which was issued by the then Chairman and Managing Director MEECL, while one Mr. A. Kambabi was the CMD. I think the minister should have this copy of this order number MEECL/CA/GAP/432/YR/21/7/2021 and corroborate the operational part of this office order and the subsequent charging of the consumers per month at the rate of 6 rupees. Because this order says that it will be free. It will be free. The private company will do all the necessary things, including the technical aspect of unifying the system of bill collection and realization. And they will not charge. They will not charge. It will be free. And based on that proposal, some agreement was signed between the MECL, rather its subsidiary distribution company, or I don't know whether it was signed between MECL or by the subsidiary MEPDCL with that private company, which is referred to as UGO utility billing system. So there are lots of confusion when we look at this. Lots of confusion. And therefore there is a need. If somebody has offered to provide all the services free, and subsequently how now we are paying 6 rupees per consumer per month? How has it evolved? Was there a procedure adopted, or was it just a whimsical? Can this whimsical decision be taken and then make the MECL come to the power department to this August house asking for more money from the scarce resources? Mr. Speaker, sir, as I have said, I think there is a need for the department to look at all angles. These are limited, since it is a demand on supplementary grants. There is no scope to go beyond. But my point is that it's just the tip of the iceberg. What we are indicating is indicative of bigger mess which has happened in the MEC. Bigger mess. Even all these procurement and other things, how it is being manipulated, I think subsequent discussions will open the opportunity for the August House. But this is very important because we are talking about providing, extending the monetary, the financial support to these particular entities which continue to bleed. And this power purchase, now Whatever power purchase, outstanding power purchase from this Government of India undertaking, we can wait. But what about the spot power purchase? You are paying on a regular basis, because if this is not done, then there will be no power. But in spite of all this, we are subjected to frequent power disruption. First time in the history of Meghalaya that during the high hydro season, we still continue to have load shedding. Load shedding in a high hydro season is something which is unprecedented and have not happened. Please explore all the possibilities that this does not happen. Because everybody is affected. The government is affected. The departments are affected. Everything is digital. So how do we move? How do we move? Therefore, this is a very, very critical sector. It is the fuel that allows the engine of development to move. Therefore, there is a need. There is a need to see that every possible measure is adopted after a exhaustive due diligence to look at how the objective of the original objective of Electricity Act 2003 can be achieved, and we will have different entities under MECL able to deliver without burdening the state exchequer, without compelling the House to vote on those kind of demands out of very, very scarce resources. We have problems. We have massive problem of unemployment. Unemployment problem because the government has not been able to sanction, create posts in spite of the need. These are facts. These are realities. These are interconnected. Now, we may say, no, this is not connected with the demand, but it has got its implication. We know, all of us, we know, when we run the course of the family. If there is no resources, you may have brilliant ideas, you may have wonderful dreams, but how do we try realizing those dreams? So therefore, Mr. Speaker, sir, I think we represent the dreams of our people, the dreams of our young men and women, and therefore to be able to make them realize their dreams to the fullest potentiality that they have, we need to see that every penny out of the scarce resources of the government exchequer are properly utilized, and we try to see that wherever possible, preventable, avoidable expenditure should be avoided. With these few words, Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to urge upon the Minister in charge to take care of the points that I have raised. I have many, many things to share with, but then we also have many other cut motions waiting to be taken up. So with these few words, I resume my seat. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.